tomorrow night, tomorrow night is night 3, is event number 3 of the 4-day event between New Japan and Ring of Honor. Extravaganza between New Japan and Ring of Honor. It's Global Wars 2015 Night 1, and this is the only pay-per-view event between the among the 4 shows. This is an internet pay-per-view, so $20 could be worth. So you might be worth burning $20 over. From the Ted Reeve Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, a place that has held many historic Ring of Honor matches, including but not limited to Kevin Steen against Nigel McGuinness at Northern Abrogation 2008 for the Ring of Honor World Title, Generico Steen, the Briscoes versus the Kings of Wrestling, no DQ for the ROH World Tag Team titles, and Davey Richards versus Tyler Black for the Ring of Honor World Title at Death Before Dishonor 8, Kevin Steen against Davey Richards for the Ring of Honor World Title at Border Wars 2012, and the match that stole last year's event, Young Bucks versus Time Splitters versus Forever Hooligans for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Let's run down this bad boy. Opening matchup. The Kingdom, Michael Bennett and Matt Taven, your IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team champs, team up against Reborn, Matt SYDAL, and JUSHIN Thunder Liger. This is obviously not going to be for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team belts, seeing as how Liger and SYDAL still fall under the Junior Heavyweight category. So, for the Kingdom, there's nothing to lose and nothing to gain in this matchup, but they're riding a lot of momentum as they seem to have the number of the Bullet Club. So I'm going to say the Kingdom wins this matchup. Chris Sabin versus Kushida of the Time Splitters. This one has an interesting dynamic behind it because, as we all know, Sabin was Shelley's former tag team partner in TNA and New Japan, whereas Kushida is Shelley's current New Japan tag partner. Of course, Sabin won the IWGP Junior Tag titles with Shelley back in 2009 at Wrestle Kingdom 3, I believe it was. Whereas Kushida has been tagging with Shelley since 2011. And given Sabin's new allegiance with deadly alliance with Daniels and Kazarian, I'm not sure how this is going to go down. My pick to win, I'll say Chris Sabin. Next up, tag team matchup. Interesting little twist in this one. From Chaos, GEDO, teaming up with Moose, to take on Watanabe and the last real man in pro wrestling, Silas Young. I don't know whose idea this match was, but if I had to pick anybody, I'd say GEDO and Moose. Given that Watanabe is still considered a young boy in New Japan, the 35-year-old veteran Silas Young is not going to be willing to team up with someone like him, and given the language barrier. ACH against the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura's biggest match of the weekend will be against Roderick Strong on Saturday night. They'll have to deal with the energetic, happy-go-lucky ACH, whose stars kind of fluctuated since this past summer or during his feud with Jay Lethal. Who wins this fight? I'm not certain, but if I had to pick, I'd say give it to Nakamura. He's coming off the bitter sting of defeat, having lost the IWGP Intercontinental title to Hiroki Goto back at the Dontaku show on May 3rd. So he'll need some way to get back in the title hunt. Next up, a match we were supposed to get next up, 4-corner tag team match. The 4-corner survival tag team match. The ROH World Tag Team Champions, The Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, versus former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Roppongi Vice, Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, versus The Decade, BJ Whitmer and Adam Page, versus former IWGP and Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragon. Fish and O'Reilly are looking for vengeance after what happened in San Antonio. Not that I blame them, but they're desperate for a win. But they're chopping at the bits. This is going to come down to the Addiction and Red Dragon. The Decade and RP and Roppongi Vice are just placeholders in this matchup. I say, though, Red Dragon gets a little payback if they can goad the Addiction into putting the belts on the line. And it'll be the fourth time in the past 3 years Red Dragon has rebounded from losing the belts to get him back on the champion's first defense. Next up, a match we were supposed to get at last year's War of the Worlds event, Cedric Alexander against the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Now, we all know why this was scrapped last year. Cedric suffered a shoulder injury at the hands of the Decade at Global Wars after his match with Roderick Strong, and Okada, not wanting to wait till the 25th of May to get his rematch against AJ Styles, threw himself into the title match between Styles and Elgin, which turned it into a 3-way, still lost when Styles pinned Elgin. This time, there's no belt on this is just, for Cedric, he's hit a major downslide. He hit a major downward spiral with his track record. After the Best in the World matchup against Roderick Strong and the matchup over the summer for the world title against Elgin, he hasn't seemed to regain that spark of momentum. And he's getting real frustrated. If he has to resort to cheap tactics, he may just have to go that low to win. Fans won't like it, but you do what you gotta do to win a match. However, it's not gonna help him in this one. My pick, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. It's to help him get momentum and to add fuel to the fire for his feud with AJ Styles and a future title match. Future match for the IWGP Heavyweight title. So give it to the Rainmaker. Michael Elgin against next up, Unbreakable Michael Elgin versus the former 7-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion Hiroshi Tanahashi. Elgin has been on the brink of teetering on the brink of insanity, if you ask me, as of late. After dropping the belt to Jay Briscoe at All-Star Extravaganza 6, he thinks everyone's gone against him. Now he's out to prove that he deserves another shot at the title, which he hasn't gotten yet, and that's sort of justified as to why he wants that title match. at least a one-on-one title match. I mean, he was in the 4-way back at the 13th anniversary, but was not involved in the decision. Tanahashi, still recovering after losing the title to Styles at New Beginning in Sendai in February. But do I see him winning this match? No. He's basically cannon fodder for Elgin. I was surprised that Naito was able to beat Elgin on the first night of the show, though not cleanly, I'll bet. So I'll say that Tanahashi Elgin comes out on top. Next up, Ring of Honor World Television Title Match. Tetsuya Naito challenges Jay Lethal with Truth Martini in his corner. Naito's coming off a bit of a winning streak of his own as of late. Coming off a hit-or-miss first 2 nights of the event. He upset Elgin, but got beat by Strong. Lethal defeated Watanabe in a proving ground match and was in a 4-corner survival match last night. And on Tuesday, and then last night was part of a 4-corner survival involving himself, Nakamura, Mark Briscoe, and Jushin Thunder Liger. So, 408 days. So for 408 days, with or without Truth Martini, Jay Lethal has held that title. That television title. Someone is going to have to take it off him. If Naito could beat someone like Elgin, he has a shot of taking that title away from Lethal. And if he does, what does that do with the working relations between New Japan and Ring of Honor? Something tells me, though, Naito won't. I'm going to take Jay Lethal to, once again, as much as I don't want him to, keep the title. Finally, main event. 10-man tag team warfare. The Ring of Honor All-Stars against the Bullet Club. Representing the All-Stars. You've got Mark Briscoe. Oh, and Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Jay, the Briscoes. Mark and Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Jay, the Briscoes. The Backbreaker Messiah. And one of only 2 men who have won all the major titles in Ring of Honor, Roderick Strong. And the duo of Rowe and Hanson, War Machine. Representing the Bullet Club, Doc Gallows. You have the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles. The IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. And the former IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champs, Doc Gallows and Machine Gun. Carl Anderson. Can the All-Stars get along? We know the Bullet Club can get along. And we'll use the numbers game to exploit the numbers game when given the chance. But who wins this one is up in the air. I'm going to say that this one goes to the Bullet Club as my pick of the pay-per-view event. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Catch you tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll do Global Wars Night 2 later on before Saturday night. I'm out. Peace.